Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Made my way out, was hungry this morning, so I made my way out to the forest here and I thought I'd cook something up. It's a Memorial weekend? Yeah. It's Saturday of Memorial weekend. And so it's pretty busy coming up to this area here. Saw a lot of hikers and walkers around the lake. Saw some bikes, dirt bikes, side-by-sides. It's weird, I saw a bunch of side-by-sides being towed down from up here, but haven't seen anyone out here yet, heard anyone. It's a little breezy. Yeah, I left my house, it was completely sunny after yesterday. Yesterday was about 85-ish, between 85 and 90 degrees, so it was a pretty warm day. No clouds in the sky. It's pretty nice. No wind, no nothing, just kind of like a very normal Arizona day. Today I looked out and it looked like it was going to be the same. So I got my shorts and my t-shirt on. I get up here, the clouds have rolled in. Just, normal clouds, and it's windy. So I put on I had this in the car. I thought it was the thinner one. I have a thinner one than this, where it's just like this outside layer. This is probably, I don't know, I might have to shed this, but that's okay. The weather is absolutely perfect. Even though it's windy out, it keeps you cool because the temp is up. It's not winter temps out here. So the last video I made, that breaded tilapia stuff, and people seem to really like that. Even had a few people try or were going to try that recipe out. And I actually I was set up, I skipped 2 weeks, and my goal is to get out every weekend. I do get out every weekend, but I don't necessarily film, because if it's a really bad day as far as like wind or super hot, I may just go out and goof around, make it a partial day, and not really make a video. And the wind, the last 2 weekends have been some of those super gusty, crazy, windy days. And the day I had planned to get out to film was just crushed by the wind, which that's okay. You can't win them all. But someone did mention, and honestly, to be honest with you guys, I totally forgot about zucchini pasta. I made it a few years ago. I'm pretty sure I was in the Jeep and I was up by Flagstaff. I remember putting out the awning, and then I had to put away the awning because I think it was windy then. But I used to eat that a fair amount, right? Zucchini pasta instead of regular pasta. Then you got whatever your favorite marinara is, and whether you do meat, sausage, meatballs, whatever. But I can hear motorcycle. The goal, the ultimate goal is what a difference zucchini pasta makes. I remember saying the same thing the last time I made it, which was probably at least 2 years ago. That it's, pasta is like really good comfort food, right? It's a comfort food. So comfort foods traditionally kind of feel heavy on you, right? Pasta, marinara, meatballs, pasta, like that was good, but man, But with the zucchini pasta, it's almost refreshing. It takes it from the extreme, not to the other extreme, but kind of brings it back to the middle, where you still get that hearty, really good comfort food. But it's the strangest thing. Very easy to prepare this, but you have to do a few things. Like, if you don't put the zucchini on paper towels and extract as much of that excess water, if you just throw it, heat it up, cook it, put it on a plate, it's watery. You got to get rid of that so there's a balance of the texture. So someone had brought it up after that last video, and man, honestly, I totally forgot about it because, my people, she hasn't bought it forever. And then I asked her about it, and she's like, oh, they stopped. I can't find it. She can't find You know, it was like fresh zucchini pasta. This is zucchini that's been, you know, however they do it. So we're like, okay, well, maybe we could get, we thought about those, like those mincers or whatever, those kind of little plastic things that you maybe push potatoes through. But I'm like, no, because it needs to be long. It needs to be like pasta. So then she said, what about one of those carrot strippers? You know, the things you kind of peel carrots with? I'm like, that would probably work. So she tried Sprouts, she tried fries, and nothing. She went to Walmart and she found it frozen. So what is that company that does like peas and Green Giant, right? Green Giant brand. They have frozen zucchini pasta. They don't call it zucchini pasta though. And I don't know. I think it was rings. Which, how do you make a ring? It couldn't have been rings. You don't make a... On the package, it looked like it was rings. Either way, whatever she did to it, it ended up being like the normal stuff. So I had that all ready to go. I had my Rouse spicy arrabbiata sauce is really the only sauce. It's the go-to sauce for me for a jarred sauce. And she got some fresh meatballs from Sprouts. So I had meatballs, arrabbiata. I had that. And so I'm like, okay, let's defrost this. Say it was like Thursday and I was going to go out on a Friday. And then I put it in the fridge. And then Friday morning came and oh my God, the trees were bending. The house was moving. It was miserable. Super long story long. We ended up cooking it that day at the house. And I put together a plate that felt like it weighed like 2 pounds. Like, you know, I piled all of the zucchini on there, and then she had made the meatballs and the sauce, and I put all that on there. I put fresh Parmesan Reggiano cheese on it, and I'm like, holy cow. I even handed it to her, like, feel how heavy this plate is. It's a paper plate, so it wasn't like the weight of the plate. It was like 2 pounds. Like, this is way too much. I'm not a big sit down and eat a bunch of food in one sitting. I'm a grazer. I like to eat nonstop, but never like big meals at once. It's just not my thing. I mean, I can put it away, but then I'm like, oh, I'd rather just eat a little bit all the time, which is probably terrible, but I went up. I actually took it upstairs and went to the computer. I'm watching whatever I was watching and powered that sucker down. I finished that 2 pounds of food in almost no time. I went back down, like, look at my plate is empty, but I didn't feel like, oh my God, because it wasn't a bunch of pasta. It was this zucchini. I don't know. The goal was to make it out here, which I've done before, but because the day was ruined from the wind, we made it at home, and oh my, delicious. If you haven't tried it, you could go back. I mean, I don't do a whole lot of videos here. I do it once a week, once every other week, whatever. So going back 2 years, but it would have been in the Jeep zucchini pasta. And I know I had meatballs with that one too. You should check that out and try it. Because even the frozen stuff, I couldn't tell the difference, right? It doesn't take long. Pasta, you just kind of put it in the pan and, you know, you're basically warming it up, kind of. That's what it seems like to me. Anyway, today I already got set up here. I'm in a different location. I'm up more exposed though than my normal spots where the wind is kind of coming across here, but I just wanted a different view of things. In that tilapia video I made a couple weeks ago, I talked about bottom feeders, what I like, you know, you talk about shrimp and all this stuff. So we got a couple of scallops, and I'm like, well, I don't want just one scallop. So I got one of the cheap steaks, a little top sirloin steak. So I'm gonna try a little variant of a surf and turf. I'll do a steak, do some scallops with just butter and olive oil, see how that turns out. I'm gonna get set up. We'll come back around and start cooking. Got a new one of it's extra virgin olive oil spray for stuff. My other one, I actually used it up, plus it leaks and wants to explode at these elevations. It's one thing about elevation, if you're not used to living at elevation, you don't really like chip bags, everything. It's like everything looks like it wants to explode. The butcher's totally changed nowadays with the steaks. This is an Angus beef one. Pretty dry looking. Alright, we're gonna go with a little butcher's salt and pepper today. I always use the black salt and pepper, but I added my own kind of mixture concoction to this old butcher's one because I can't find this. Maybe this is, oh no, this is a one I bought because it's still got the lid on. I ended up making some coffee. I think this is going to take a little while. I mean, it is really hard to cook in the wind with these, you know, basic Coleman style grills because not only blows the flame, but such a thick piece of meat, trying to cook it in a pan. I really do love in the wintertime when I get the charcoal grill out and I get the charcoal going and put the meat right on there. It's not that it's faster, it's actually slower, kind of slow cook it, but the heat is just constant, even, and you can judge your temp so much better with this. Having a steak in a pan, just till a few years ago, I never ever cooked a steak like that. I think I probably made a video where it's like I said, hey, this is the first time ever I'm trying to cook a steak in a pan, which makes me the oddball. Apparently everybody does it, but growing up and the way we always did was just either on a barbecue, a grill of some kind. It was over flame or charcoal, and it's just the way we always did it. Maybe that's why I always like steak, because that stuff imparts a little bit of more or different flavor to it. So I'm gonna cook this up, let it rest, right? And while it's resting, put the scallops on. I've there's so many things I want to talk to you guys about, like vlog style, like this, right? But I don't know, it's kind of boring, but it's what goes on in my head all the time. But I had mentioned a little bit briefly about trying to figure out selling off like some of my vehicles that I have. I've collected some older used vehicles over the years and fixed them up and off-road them, and I really love it, but I don't have room to do what I'm doing. And now that I've kind of really stabilized in what I like using, like, man, I tell you what, the best improvement I've done to this Land Cruiser is this drawer I made. Again, it's raw, it's like, who was it? The Joker or Penguin, or who had like everything that was kind of askew? Like there was nothing perfectly square. It's kind of like that. but it's tough. It's built out of 3/4 inch plywood, and I built it specifically to be this wide, this long, and this tall, right for this spot, right? I built it specifically for that. And I think that's what makes it so good, right? If I had bought some like ARB pre-made drawers that kind of go across here, now it ruins my sleeping spot. This being able to put stuff up here, even drive with it up there because I carpeted it and it, you know, keeps it from sliding around. It's definitely top 3 things I've done to make this thing functional. You know, you're talking about including suspension and tires and bumpers and winches and all that stuff. The way I do things, I don't need a fridge. I think for a fridge to be viable, I think you need to go out like a lot, and I think you need to go out for multi-days. Then a fridge is completely a viable option, because you don't want to just eat dry food. You want cold drinks. You want to be able to have milk to cook with, or meats and things like that need to be. And hey, I've never had a plug-in fridge. I've always had coolers or eskies or whatever you want to call them. And the worst thing about them, I mean, I've got some good ones. I've got a Pelican brand it's like, you know, Pelican is all the gun cases and stuff that you would get. But Pelican made one years ago, and it was just like the Yeti style, right? So you look at the outside of it, you're like, wow, that's really big. You open it up, and you're like, whoa, that's really small, because the sides of it are like 3 to 4 inches thick. We went to Utah from California, and when we went through Vegas, it was 115 degrees. We put ice in it, and it lasted like 4 days. Like, we got back, we were out there for a week, and we got back, there was still ice in it, and it was outside on the tongue of the trailer. It's pretty crazy. Was that? No, I think I had 2 coolers. I had an old Coleman that was like 30 years old that I had on the tongue of the trailer that had like full of Heinekens and beer and crap like that. And then I think the other one was inside the Jeep. But it lasted literally 4 days. Now, it was all water, but there was still, like, if you went down the water, you still came up with ice. What I'm getting at is it works, but the water, there's no way around it. You try Ziploc bags, you try to put like a shelf in there, which cuts your room down even more. It just really sucks. But I've done it all my life. You know, I've used it forever, so it's not like the end of the world. That versus buying a fridge, and having a 12-volt system to run it, the cost of that and the inconvenience of having it in here, and then me knowing I would look at it and go, I don't even use this thing, right? I still use the cooler, because traditionally I get out every weekend for a day trip. I get out, you know, once in a while for an overnighter, and I definitely don't need that. Definitely don't need that. But it is a really good option. But I was just saying that this drawer is, it's so nice. Like, it took a few trips. Coffee, paper towels, paper plates, you know, cutting board knife, the propane. It's just really good. I really, really like it. But I was talking about wanting to, you know, kind of whittle the fleet down a little bit. And there's a number of reasons. You know, one of the things, it's kind of like superficial, is I thought people would like, you know how like there's channels that like a Jeep channel. The person has a Jeep and everyone else has a Jeep, watches that channel. The Tacoma channel, where he's got a Tacoma and everybody has a Tacoma, watches that channel. You know, it never worked for me. I have a crazy badass Jeep that never really drew Jeep people in. I look at the comments on those other kind of videos and these, and never really drew in like Jeep people. Like, I don't see the comments. Oh my God, I've got this. That's so cool. Oh my God, yeah, your Jeep's nice. I've got this Jeep. I never saw that stuff. And then I bought a Tacoma, like a really nice TRD Pro Tacoma. Nothing. probably too late to the game on that, but still nothing. So that's the superficial part of it. I thought, hey, I want these things, but also maybe it could do good on YouTube, right? Draw that in. But no, not for me. Not so much for me. And then I still had that. I still had that thought or idea with the Land Cruiser fleet, you know? If anybody's a Land Cruiser person, it's like, wow, you got a 60, an 80, a 100, a 200, and you got the Prado? That's nuts. Like, that's a crazy collection. They're all used. They were all really cheap, so it sounds like, oh my God, you've got so much. But not really. It's all of my cars are less than if you went out to buy one of those new Toyotas today, like the new Land Cruiser, the new 4Runner, the new Tacoma, the new Tundra. They're all more expensive than my whole fleet put together. So I think it's pretty cool, right? I got all these options, but it never really drew anyone in. The people watch the videos for the cooking, the little bit of off-roading. Some people for my little bit of goofiness, which is what I've always really wanted. I wanted people to watch my videos for me, you know, because that's like the old school gamer, because I've been around for a long time now. It's that old school gamer, that old school vlogger. You want them to watch for you and then also enjoy what you're doing, whatever game you're playing, whatever you might be doing in a vlog or these things. And that's like the perfect world. But it would have been nice to have a little bit of that other push. Like I saw someone, was like the kind of the last straw for me. I bought that 200, which really is just for us. We just needed a newer vehicle that was nice and reliable. You know what I mean? Just nice and new. And especially if she wants to drive down to Scottsdale when she goes down there, down to Phoenix, or even back to California, she has something super comfortable, really nice to drive. I'll drive anything. I mean, but for her, you know, I say for her, she got it for me. But I did a video on that. It did terrible. It was a terrible video. But I watched somebody else buy one. It was like a 08, the first year of the 200 series. It was a POS. And all the full comment section was like, welcome to the 200 club. It's like, what? I never see these comments on my, I know my titles are terrible. I know my thumbnails are terrible. I just try and title things like descriptive for what they actually are, which is stupid in this day and age. But yeah, so all that I just talked about encompassing makes me get back to who I really am, which is I don't care what anybody else thinks. I've always been that way. I've let that little bit creep into me because of the YouTube thing. And it's not for me. It's not like I don't want someone to walk up to me and go, man, you're so cool because you have an old Land Cruiser. It's not that. It was the people drawn to the channel and maybe grow the channel because, you know, you've come across something that you're like, I never heard of this channel. Let me check it out. And you watch, you're like, wow, this is pretty cool. I really like these people. Or this is interesting. That's what you need. That's what YouTube's all about drawing people in that would never either see, hear about you, or ever click on your video. And then maybe something like has them come over and they're like, oh, this guy off-roads and cooks and talks about goofy stuff. This is pretty cool, pretty relaxing. I'm going to put this on my list of things to watch. So yeah, that's the superficial part of it is like, it's not working for me. For whatever reason, it doesn't work for me. But I can tell you this. Everything that I have, I bought because I wanted it. I liked it. The things I bought that I didn't necessarily want for me was the Tacoma. And I got rid of it after maybe about a year I had it. I got rid of it. Yeah, no one gave a crap that I had this TRD Pro Tacoma and I was doing this stuff with it, and I didn't get any of the Tacoma people like, hey, Tacoma brother. You know? I know it sounds weird, but some people have got to understand what I'm saying, right? Got to understand. But the fun, you know, one thing I wanted to mention is I was at Costco getting gas. You know, I think all Costco gas stations are huge. The one we have is, you know, each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 pumps per side. So, you know, it's a lot of people go in there. So I'm in there in this car, which is arguably a pretty cool car. It's an older 97, 80 series, but it's lifted and it's put together rather nice and used. It's actually used. And a new Land Cruiser pulled up, like, but from here to the camera, one of the new ones. And I'm like, oh, nice, you know, that's cool. There's, you know, it's a whole nother video of me talking about those things, but I'm like, wow, cool. That's one of the new Land Cruisers. And he actually had bigger kind of all-terrain tires on it. It looked really good. Got out. I'm standing right here next to my 80. Got out, didn't even look my way. Didn't even look over and go, dude, nice 80. Why? Because this is a first-time buyer probably of a Land Cruiser just because it's a new vehicle. It will never see off-road. It'll never see four-wheel drive. It'll never see four-low. He doesn't know what this is. Yet me being dumb thinking that, you know, oh, you know, you can, or he just doesn't want to, can't appreciate something else. Like every time I see something, like, dude, nice ride, or that's really cool. Old, new, whatever. But most people aren't like that, and it's weird to me. That's why I say I gotta look in the mirror at myself, and because when you think everyone's the weird one, it's pretty much you. I've said that before. I've had to kind of evaluate and say, no, it's got to be me. I got to check this meat over here. The wind is blowing the flame around. $5. I guess I got 6 of them. I just got butter, whatever was left over from the steak, a little olive oil, then I added some butter. A little salt and pepper blend. Little overdone on this one. This is a thick sucker. It'll still be good. It's just not pink in the middle anymore. Probably rested for too long, to be honest with you. Oh, it's still really good though. Huh, that's good. Okay, I got it all cut up. Looks pretty good. It's been a long time since I've had scallops. What reminded me of them was that last video where I talked about scallops. Perfect. So I had 6 total. She said she was going to get me 2 because they were like jumbo, but then when she went there, they were normal size. So she got me 6, and there was some small ones and some that were like twice the size, and so you gotta keep that in mind when you're cooking. The way I did it and the way I remember is do a quick sear on one side, flip it over, do a quick sear, and then I flip it back to the other side and lower the heat, and then take them off. Because you don't want them to be rubber, right? The steak, I definitely went way too long. It must have been too long since I've cooked steak. But those thick ones, man, like this thick, they're hard to cook in a pan. I think it rested too long, to be honest with you. If I would have cut into it, let some of that heat escape once, a couple minutes, I think it would have been fine. But I can tell you, the texture is fine. It's more like roast beef type. Someone's riding a quad. Like doing circles riding out here. I heard him over there. I hear him back there. Now I kind of hear him over here. I used to love riding quads. It was so much fun. I think I rode quads longer than I rode bikes. That's a toss-up. No, not true. Maybe. Yeah. I guess it really depends on just like what you have. I had an old three-wheeler when I was a kid. Now it's back over there. Oh, it's not a quad, it's a side-by-side. 2 side-by-sides. I can see it way down the hill. Yeah, I broke my tibia, my shin bone on that three-wheeler. It had no suspension. It was those old pull start with balloon tires and stuff. I think it was 6th grade. 6th or 7th grade. A pretty traumatic break, but I recovered fine. What's a couple months in a cast? The scallops are really good. The meat is fine. I just say fine. I overcooked it. Dang it. It's one of the challenges when you're doing like different items to kind of that complement each other. Not when you're doing like steak and beans, because that's 2 different things. This is cooked in the same pan. Now I could have, timed it better, got another pan, but I like the challenge. Surf and turf. I guess in a way though, with the surf and turf, the meat is the texture is a little bit firmer than normal. And then you've got the scallops, which are, you can't quite crush it with your tongue, but it's right there. Perfect. So I get, maybe on purpose, I distanced the textures. It's not true. I just messed up, but that's okay. What a day. It's a really, really nice day. The day is so nice weather-wise that the wind gusts they're not a thing. Like, I wouldn't even say, well, it would have been a nice day if it wasn't for the wind. The wind is making the temp so nice. Cloud cover, so we're not, there's direct sunlight around, but been kind of in the shade the whole time. Didn't even have to put out the awning, which is cool. Woo, that was really good. I like experimenting out here with different things because, again, I like to make sure you guys understand. I actually don't like cooking. I don't like to cook. I like to eat. So if I can come out here and cook something that's not a royal pain in my butt and it's delicious, right? Then that's gonna go on my list. Oh, there was something I was thinking of. The zucchini pasta is definitely one that goes on the list. That's really easy to make out here. The longest thing is the meatballs. But honestly, for me, I don't need a meatball to be in the sauce that's like a perfectly round meatball. I would rather like quarter it so it cooks faster and you know it's cooked all the way through, and then you throw it in the arrabbiata sauce. But one of the most simple things out here that is next level, and you have to try it to understand what I mean. You're going to be like, what? The cans of chili, right? You got to find your own favorite. I've come to try a lot of these chilies in cans, and I found a lot are really good. Some like almost guarantees are the stag chilies, the stag ones. So what I do is I get a little inexpensive, a cheap steak, like top sirloin, right? Cook it, cut it up, make sure you don't overcook it, but it's not the end of the world because throw it in that canned chili, right? Man, you think that you just had some real homemade chili, right? Super good. Whether you like beans, they have beans, no beans, they have ones with meat that you're just complementing and adding more meat. Really, really good. Really good winter time, right? Like when it's cold and you're in the snow, little chili really hits the spot. I wanted to tell you guys, I was going to make another video, but it would be like a full-on rant video. You guys know my Lexus, right? So when I got the Lexus, it's black. It's a black car. And I don't know, maybe I should have not bought it back then, because I never really wanted a black vehicle because of the sun. We had that black Raptor too, but it's like you find something and the price and the vehicle, everything just is like there, but the color isn't. You're like, screw it, I'm going to do it. So I did that. Then I saw all the YouTube stuff. Everyone's wrapping their cars and everything's perfect. Nothing ever goes wrong. Wrap, 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 wrap. So I'm like, it'd be cool. I'll wrap this thing in one of those cool Toyota colors, like I don't even know what they're called, honestly, like concrete or moon dust pearl, or, they're like gray, matte. There's a lot of cars, Kias and Hondas, they all do those couple of matte weird colors. Again, with I thought people would like that, but no one ever said they liked it. No one ever said, that's cool, that's way better than the black. Nobody, not one person ever said to me, that's pretty cool. Doesn't matter, but it's just something to take note of. It kind of ties in with all that other stuff. But one, it was going to look better on video. So the black is such a heavy contrast against the snow. And even out here, it's like, it's not the greatest for what I looked at the video. What's weird though, after I wrapped it, I looked back at a year or two and I saw it in the snow and the black. I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. So, who knows where your head is at any given time. So I opted for the best, at the time, the best material, which was 3M. So 3M and Avery Dennison at the time were like the best ones. I picked a professional shop. They're really good. Like, they're really good at doing it. They did a great job wrapping it. They're like the best rated around here. I don't know what other people use, but I might actually do some research on it now. I was reluctant. I never wanted to wrap anything. Never. You guys know how I am. I don't wash things. Anyway, I'm a bad candidate for it. So, but I saw so many YouTube videos of so many successes and, really cool looking stuff that I went for it. It was $3,600. Now that's a lot of money. I don't know what a new paint job is, but that's a lot of money. One, because I use 3M, and two, it's super labor intensive, right? And the guy who installed it, man, he went the extra mile. Like he actually fixed, there were some body panels that were loose, you know, those stupid things they put on the outside of the lower doors on those Lexus. Fixed some stuff and took his time and did a really good job. Like anyway, long story long, it had a 5-year warranty on the sides and a 3-year warranty on the roof and hood, you know, because that's what's exposed the most. 2 years in, the hood, it like, I say it's ruined. From a distance, you couldn't tell, but you get up on it, it was hard. It was like almost crunchy. It had yellowed into almost like yellow camouflage, yellow with this gray. So the hood was ruined. You know, a spot about this big, right where the paint would get ruined on a normal car. All down the driver's side, like, you know, like where you put your arm out the window, right about there, kind of that top 6 to 8 inches along the side of your car, the fender flares. And I didn't know it, but my people took it over there in October, 8 months ago. Took it over there, drove by there. She's going like to the motor vehicle division, and they're right by there. And so she went by there on her own. I didn't say anything. I wasn't really complaining about it other than it looked stupid. And they said, "Oh my God, what the heck? That is terrible looking. We got to, you know," and she was doing all this. And then she told me about it. And then, so it was like they were going to warranty it. And I didn't think it was that big of a deal because when I first got it wrapped, it wasn't that big of a deal. We took it in. A couple days later, we got it back. Well, apparently it is a big deal because from October all the way till May, they're telling us that the warranty, they're not honoring the warranty or something. I'm like, who's not honoring the warranty? Well, 3M and our distributor. I'm like, okay. I let it go for a little bit, you know, phone calls back and forth. We're talking about October to May. And I'm thinking, this stuff is getting hard and crusty. It might ruin the paint underneath. Now, I've wrapped stuff inside the cars before. You buy some vinyl wrap on Amazon. There's no glue. You heat it up, you stretch it, you put it on there. I put it inside the Lexus. It's still there to this day. Black, in sunlight, looks perfect. So I didn't think there was glue involved. Apparently there's glue involved, because that's later in the story. Anyway, finally I'm like, all right, push comes to shove. I'm like, look, if you're a business and you're going to come buy something from me, and I say, you get a 5-year warranty with this. That doesn't mean you get it only if the manufacturer, you as a professional business, are giving me the warranty. So I don't care if 3M pays you or gives you more material or what. You have to honor the warranty and fix this. You don't get your money back, obviously. That's what I would rather have, or at least a portion of it. But, you know, they know. They're a professional, but they know that it's on them. So he's like, bring it down, we'll pull the wrap off. And that took 10 days for him to take the wrap off. They're telling me there's problems with the glue. I'm like, what glue? Glue? This is a vinyl wrap. Well, they tore some paint off on the mirror, on the back, you know, a lot of the plastic pieces that were painted got the black torn off. Along the edge of where those side panels, anyway, it's like just one compounding nightmare on top of another. I never wanted to wrap it in the first place. And they've only had one other customer that has had an issue, and I believe them, because everybody says it's the best thing since sliced bread. Yet I do it, and it's the worst experience. It ruins my paint underneath. It's supposed to protect it. And here I am now. My Lexus is now black again, and the paint is basically ruined. Now they'll rewrap it for me, like whatever color I want. What do I do? Rewrap it and then sell it? So anyway, that's, you can tell. Oh, that almost blew the thing over. You can tell that I'm pretty mad. I'm not mad like at anyone. I'm mad that it happened. I told myself I don't believe in wrapping cars because I think I would never do it to a new. Well, it's that kind of goes against my theory. I was just going to say I would never do it to a new car, but I think a new car with brand new paint, everything's fine. I just, honestly, I swear, I did not know. I thought it was the same vinyl wrap that I used. You see them heating it up and putting it on. Where did the glue come from? I gotta research that. I don't like being lied to. I don't like lack of integrity. One way to really get on my bad side is to have a lack of integrity. Like, something goes wrong, right? Instead of like beating around the bush to see if I'm some dumbass that you can get one over on, tell me the truth. Just tell me. You ripped the paint off my car. You know? Have some integrity. I see a lack of integrity a lot. I should probably stop there because I'm going to probably go off. I'm mad. I get mad. I'm not mad at them, but then you, look, you know, hey, I'm not mad at you. Let's just figure this thing out. But then you do something like lack of integrity and not tell me something. Now I'm mad at you. Now I'm mad at you, right? I give people plenty of room to hang themselves, plenty of room up front. I'm not intimidating. I don't threaten. I'm just like, hey, let's figure this out. And then you have the guts to, yeah. Anyway, well, the sun has really come out, and as you can see here, it's hard for me to actually balance up the shot now because my shirt is too bright from my face. Yeah, the sun burned away those clouds and it's out. The wind died down and there's a bunch of people now out just doing hot laps and side-by-sides. I can hear them all over, breaking up my peace and quiet. But, you know, like I say, it's a holiday weekend. It is what it is. I didn't go too far out in the wild, so I didn't expect to be by myself. Normally I do, you know, and it is cool, but it's also cool seeing people have fun, you know, as long as they're not being douchers. Sounds like they're having fun, so. But pretty good today. With the butter and all that stuff, I always like to kind of recap about a half an hour, 45 minutes after I ate, which is about now. It's a little heavy, you know, I feel a little bit like, I don't usually like butter stuff, I guess. But, it needed that. What is salt, pepper, and butter? That's the only flavor I added to the scallops. And I kind of dumped that butter on the beef because it looked a little overcooked, which it was. But, it's a little heavy, especially for the summer. Like, I feel like eating when on a day like this, like watermelon. I love watermelon. Like, it just reminds you of those barbecues and those backyards in the summer, right? Melons. I actually like, I think honeydew melon. Is that the green one? I like honeydew melon the best. And then cantaloupe, the orange one, right? And then watermelon. Watermelon's good if it's like firm. They have those seedless ones, which are, I don't know, I never had seedless. I have had it, but growing up, it was just a regular watermelon. But my favorites, honeydew and cantaloupe, are my favorite melons. And they just scream summer to me. Coleslaw. You know, if you have like ribs Ribs are really good, burgers, hot dogs, but then you have to have those cold things, right? You have to have those cold, like coleslaw or macaroni salad or melon type stuff, a fruit plate to kind of counteract that when it's hot outside. When it's winter or cold, man, sky's the limit. Eat all those comfort foods you want. But that right there, it was pretty good. It's not something I would get all the time. Surprisingly, I think that it was not that expensive. I could be wrong. I got 6 scallops for $5. And you know, they weren't like tiny. A couple of them were decent size. It was more than enough for me. Actually, that amount of scallops would have probably been enough for both of us with the meat and that. So it's $5 for that. And for some reason, I haven't gone looking for the top sirloins myself. The ones I used to get that were between $5 and $7. They were in the butcher's thing, not pre-packaged. But every time she goes, she comes back with something that's like $10 or $11. That's probably just shrinkflation or whatever the heck is going on in the world. Not what it used to be a year ago or 2 years ago or whatever. You know, it ebbs and flows. And to me, honestly, it's like the other steaks are like $20. That's a no-go for me. Like, I don't need a steak out here to make a video, one steak that's $20. There's no way. That's just stupid. That's why I was so happy when I found the top sirloin that was a cheap cut, and it was you cook it right and it's good. It's delicious, right? And you didn't spend that much money. I'm not into spending. Now, if I had a bunch of people out and we were having like a thing, you know, maybe get some tomahawk steak, that's different. It's a special occasion. But doing this every weekend, there's no need. I'll just experiment with less expensive stuff. And if you never know, you come across something that's really good. This video might be really short because I had about 3 different sections that I kind of was sitting or standing doing vlog style. And I went way off on tangents where I was talking about things like the wrap on the Lexus going wrong, and I kind of was getting mad. And I talked about vehicles and YouTube, and you know, things were just dumb. I'm not saying it was a pity party, poor me, but not something it's something I'd love to share, but it's not for this. This is supposed to be, hey, you weren't able to get out this weekend or this month, watch this video. You can see I'm out here cooking, doing some stuff, right? So it's to kind of live vicariously through. Maybe the weather in your area is terrible. Maybe there's something else. Maybe you're injured, working, whatever. That's the idea, is to vicariously do this. Well, that's going to do it for me today. Again, I have no idea how much I recorded. I recorded a lot of talking. Food was okay. I would say, you know, I like to be honest with you guys about the food. It was cool having scallops again, but meh. For cooking out here, steak and scallops, it now, and 45 minutes later, it didn't really hit the spot for me. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. It was fine. But kind of a chore to cook it, a little bit of a pain. Really quick on the scallops, but just a pain. But it won't go on my list of, oh my God, I can't wait to do that again. I'm a simple man. I like chili. I do like steak, but maybe that's what it was. I overcooked the steak, and that makes me mad. All right, that's going to do it for me, you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed it. If any of those things came in there, try and take it with a grain of salt. I just like sharing what's going on in my crazy head with y'all. Thanks for watching.